Bad.
Okay. Let's take something which you call as bad. We'll begin with that. Tell me anything which you call as bad.
An inadequate idea.
Too abstract.
Okay.
I'll then have to make it more abstract. And
I don't know.
do you call disease? Do you call a disease as bad?
Yes.
Okay. A disease is bad only when you experience the pain and suffering associated with it. Only when the disease shows up in medical reports. Let's say there is a wound here. The wound has become infected. And it is oozing pus. Now you will say this is bad. Won't you say that? Don't be so guarded, as if you want to block my next step.
That's
Yes,
not.
but at the same time.
One might say it's bad, yes.
What would you call as bad? Because I have to start from there. What do you see all around that you would call as unacceptable? Is there anything that you dislike?
I'm just grateful.
Then everything is all right. You are home.
I'm celebrating.
You are home.
That's what
You are
I'm-
home.
Okay.
You're home.
If I see somebody beating a child, I call it bad.
Yes, yes. I like honest statements. He's saying he's grateful when somebody beats up a child.
Well, I think I'm not saying this.
Then why not say that? Why not say that when you find somebody raping somebody, you don't like it? Do you like it?
I don't like it.
Yes, just say that.
Why do you want there to be I in it?
It's okay then.
I'm-
It's
I'm-
okay
I'm
then.
not
It's
trying
okay.
to argue.
It's okay.
I know.
See, we living in the fact means an honest acknowledgement of what life for you really is like. Do you really like it if you are beaten up? Then why not simply say that? Why put it in abstractions? Why put it in abstractions? So you don't like it when somebody beats a child, right? Okay. Now beating the child is a gross act. It is visible. Let's say somebody is carrying a cane and spanking the child with it. It is visible.
But we don't know why he's doing that. Maybe he wants to.
Yes, stay with this. Stay with this. Stay with this. So it is visible when the child is being beaten. And these eyes can look at that visible material act. Something goes up, something comes down, somebody cries. You can look at that. It's a gross thing. It's very difficult to miss it. Now make it more subtle. Bring it down a level. Suppose the violence is not so gross. It's a more subtle violence. What happens in a more subtle violence? Come on, speak. Shaming. So now he is not beating. He is just accusing. He is just making the child feel ashamed using words. Now words are also gross. A little less gross than action. A little less gross than action, but the words are also gross because sensory mechanism can catch them. So you still call it violence. Yes. If you are sensitive enough, you still call it violence. But somebody might say that no. Beating was violence. This is just counseling. Right? You make it even more subtle. Now the violent one is neither using a cane nor is he using words. He is just using ignoring. Wonderful. So using nothing or just using a glance. Now it is very subtle. Now only the sensitive mind will say that it is violence. If you are not sensitive, you will not even know that it is violence. But violence is continuing. It is just that now you are not calling it violence. Only 1% people are now calling it violence. What have you done? You have done nothing. You have just been apathetic to the child. Make it even more subtle.
Thinking.
Now there is no possibility that anybody else can catch you. Now there is no possibility that any law can punish you because you have just thought the violence. Are you getting it? And you can think in a way where what you are thinking is not labeled as violence. For example, you may think of converting the child to another religion. You may think of imposing your belief on the child. And you will not call it violence. You are saying that this is just something else. But isn't the same thing continuing? From the grossest of acts to the most subtlest of acts, the same thing is happening. But we are unable to see. This is what I meant when I said that this entire living is just one. It is just that only sometimes you perceive the violence, the fear, the insecurity, the ugliness. At other times, it is so hidden, so subtle. Do you see how deeply you can violate somebody by just smiling at him? Have you come across this?
Yeah.
You don't need to fire a gun at somebody. You can just smile at somebody and violate him very deeply. But
Cynic smile.
But
Cynic.
you may miss it and you may say, no, violence is not all pervasive. Violence is just restricted to a part of life. We will not acknowledge that it is all pervasive. What will we say? It is restricted only to those moments when somebody is being beaten or somebody is being fired at. We do not see that even the basic stuff of thought is violence. The name given to it, notwithstanding, the very mind stuff is violence. Who is a sage? A sage is one who is extremely sensitive, who is able to catch even that which we normally ignore. He is able to go to the fact of that which we just dismiss as usual. We call it usual when we meet somebody and just smile. The sage stops. The sage says, no, 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 no. There was something in it. Was this smile real? Was this coming from a reason? Did it rise from the heart? And he won't just accept it as one of those casual things. That is the sage.
And mistake and sage, two things to mistake and sage. Where they are, a sage is a mistake or mistake is even a higher.
I mean the same. I mean the same. Why create unnecessary categories? We have so many categories already.
But mistake is something that is beyond the beyond.
I mean the same. I mean the same. Beyond the beyond is just more mind. So no beyond the beyond. My task is to simplify, not complicate further.
But then life will become hell if you are, because if you will think things as they are, because we are sleeping to the reality.
Life is hell, isn't it?
I don't know if you are living in bliss, I don't know. But life is not just a bliss, it's also hell.
The saint is one who has realized that life is not also hell, but just hell.
Just hell.
And when he realizes that this that we call as life is just hell, he says, this cannot be life. Then he comes to real life, and that is not hell. I won't call it bliss, I'll just say that is not hell. If you are suffering, you need not be told how beautiful and blissful health is. If you are suffering, all that you need to be told is that freedom from disease is possible. No positive affirmative statement needs to be given. If you are really crying out of pain, do you need to be given dreams of the pink of health? You only need to be assured that this pain is not your nature, and that is all.
So do you think that you will tell it in some few days, or you will tell it now, how to realize?
I will never tell it. Why must I tell something that you already know?
That's what you do for hours, because all you say.
I keep non-telling. You already have been told so much. My job is to
Stop telling.
is there anybody here who has already not been told a lot of things? They need to be now untold. Do not ask for more telling.
then you will feel stuffed and bored because you cannot keep on sitting like.
Don't be too sure of that. Those who have been coming here, they know. I can't keep sitting like this.
Because you are keeping yourself involved, because your situation is like that you are attending, I don't know, but you're blinking and your body is restless, and but you need to be relaxed and totally at ease with your.
Who told you that the body must sit like this and it should not move? Even when the body is sitting like this, if you have an instrument sensitive enough, it will detect movement. I'm letting my body move, just like that tree on that leaf on that tree. Look at that leaf there. Look at that leaf. See how it is dancing. Why am I not entitled to dance?
But okay, then you will be different person if everybody becomes okay here. You will be different person.
Do you want to be okay? Why talk of everybody and everybody okay and me different person and this and that?
Yeah, that's.
Will the patient talk about everybody else in the hospital?
Yeah, that's true.
Huh? Yes. So off to your bed.
But I
The
would
surgeon
not like you to
shall-
be doctor and me as a patient. We would like it's like more juicy and something more.
Oh, it will be a very juicy medicine. Don't worry. Even the operation will be very juicy. Juicy brain surgery.
So if I see a man who's beating a child on the street, is it wrong to think that maybe both of them are lucky, somewhat fortunate, to have the experience of pain and suffering? Because the man beating the child is suffering, and the child is suffering. But both of them have something to grow from after that, right? One of them has the suffering of anger and the things that they've done wrong to grow from. So they're in such a privileged freedom.
Who gave you this model that people grow from doing all this rubbish? What is this thing about growing?
So pain is an opportunity to become liberated from
Yes,
pain.
yes. See this. See.
I understand.
Because I'm laughing. It's
Yeah.
just a game.
Yeah.
So you feel comfortable.
Control you.
But if it's a
No.
outside,
So I think
What do you feel?
you're
What do you
misunderstanding
feel?
my point.
What do you
maybe.
feel?
I think you're really
is it okay?
misunderstanding.
Is everything okay?
So
No. Wait. See.
there's a misunderstanding here where it's not that I'm saying that it's desirable, because desire is a whole different thing.
You are thinking.
Are you happy with
You are thinking, right? You are uttering a statement that both are growing, this and that. Do you see that this statement is a model? Do you see that this is a preconceived notion? Whenever you are thinking about a situation, you are missing that situation. Whenever you look at something and think, oh, he's beating him and it is good for both of them and they are growing, you have missed it. Because in thinking and concluding thus, you have missed the happening.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I wouldn't intervene. No, if I saw someone beating a child, I would step in. I would stop the man, even
So
if
that means that you feel it's
feel
not
it's
a
not
good.
good
So
because you are
my belief.
So how can you say at the same time that you feel they are blessed?
you are interfering, so
is-
it's not good.
I'm
for you.
interfering. No. I'm not saying I wouldn't interfere. Their bodies exist. My body exists. It is my duty to interfere because if I see something
Would you
happening.
interfere if
Why?
somebody
It's
is
your
really
duty.
happy? Like you say that they are blessed, yes?
What
so
I'm
then
saying-
when you
yeah.
see people that are happy, you let them be happy and blessed. So what do you do that when the child is beaten if you consider that this is a blessing for them?
So but my point is more that it is ultimately not bad or good. No, there's this duality of bad and good. We say this is bad, this is good. Ideally, I would not have an emotional reaction, but I can use logic to say, oh, this is the best thing to do.
No, when you are saying it is neither bad nor good, then you must complete the statement. It is neither bad nor good and not even an absence of both of them. Surely you are using a model given by somebody, but it is an incomplete model. It is not A, not B, not B, and not even an absence of both A and B. So which means that you can have no feelings or thoughts about that situation, which means that you cannot even say that I am grateful and blissful, that it will lead to growth. Which means that you look at it and let the action happen through you. Gratefulness is not the thought of gratefulness. Joy is not the thought of joy. Truth is not the thought of truth. But several teachers teach this thing, that whatever you look at, you take it as a great happening in some great growth, as another step of the drama. All these are just thoughts. And when you are thinking about something, you don't even know that thing. Living in the fact means a body is beating another body, to take the analogy you gave. A body is beating another body because the body, which is the mind, is feeling that it is distinct and hence being violent and the rest of that. So let this body also interfere. That body was violent towards that body. Now this body feels the need and the dislike to interfere. Gratefulness means not having any sense of like or dislike. If I like something, what I'm saying is I dislike the absence of this thing. So if you're liking something, you cannot be grateful. Liking something and gratefulness are very, very different. If you like something, do you know what you're saying? You can only like this much, right? And if you like this much, then you are disliking everything which is outside of this. So when you see somebody beating a child, you neither have to like nor dislike. You just have to let the right action overpower you. You just have to let the right energy overwhelm you, flow through you, and then you do what must be done and forget everything about gratefulness. When you have forgotten about gratefulness, you are truly grateful. What happens is that the great words of the seers become concepts in the hands of incompetent teachers. They turn joy and gratefulness and God and love into concepts, and they teach those concepts. That love is about saying, you know, I am related to you, you know, I am forgiving you.
I don't like that one.
And gratefulness is about saying, even though it appears weird, yet it is so beautiful, it will lead to growth. None of that.
Is that so in that kind of case, and I don't want to point at you or anything, is that like kind of self-delusion that we go into that pattern to make things to be kind of acceptable?
You know, when a 6'6" man with 2 guns on either side is beating up a child, it becomes quite necessary that you just say, oh, this is just, I need not interfere. The child is growing. You want to do that, and the teacher gives you a nice tool to make you feel good while doing that. Otherwise, you would have felt guilty. Otherwise, you would have felt as if you absconded from your duty. Now the teacher has given you a tool to escape. So now you are escaping, and it is a holy escape. It is a holy escape now. The spiritual man is neck deep into action. He is not an escapist.
But what if I have been beaten in my life a lot, you know? I've been subject to violence, and then I look at it as, well, if I hadn't undergone this, then maybe I wouldn't be where I am right now.
Who is thinking all of this?
with
But
food.
you don't know what you would have been.
Who is thinking all of this? The product of violence is thinking all of this. Had you not been a product of violence, would you still be thinking this way? Had you not been a product of all your past and experience, would this thought still come to you? Does any thought come to us irrespective of what our past has been like?
No.
So it is the whole flow, the whole output of all that child beating, of all that violence and everything else that now comes to this thought. Do not ever try to imagine how you would be had you not been what you are, because you can imagine that only as you are. We often attempt that, don't we? How would I be were I not what I am? Now you can never imagine that. Imagination will fail, because all your imagination proceeds from the center of what you currently have made yourself are. So don't even attempt that.
Also
Gratefulness
transforms everything.
is anyway our natural state. We don't have to be grateful. We can only not be grateful when we decide to be anything. We are then not being grateful, because in saying that I want to become that, that could be anything: good, great, wonderful, or grateful. When I say I want to become grateful, what I am saying is that I am not all right with that which is. And if I am not all right with that which is, am I grateful?
No.
So the very attempt to become grateful is an act of ungratefulness. If I am really grateful, I will not try to be grateful or feel grateful. If I am trying to be grateful, I am so ungrateful.